Alright, now let's see. A little light on here. What? Alright, that does not look right. Still not right. Okay.
But were they going in and out like it was yesterday? Yeah. Okay.
Still isn't right.
Okay, I'm going in. Peach, you need water? Or are you okay?
I'd like some if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Good.
I will get one for you and one for me.
Oh, good. Let's see that. I don't know.
And then I'll spill it on the floor.
Oh, well, yeah. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Windows computer.
Yeah, I'm going to pull that over to me.
Built-in camera and microphone. That way, I'm getting 2 videos here.
Actually, that's my way to communicate with Ian.
With Ann?
Ian. This is Ian.
Oh, hi, Ian.
How's it going?
All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Let's see. What am I doing here?
Okay, remember you gotta move, in fact, if you want to adjust the mic like this, so you're always talking on it, okay?
Like
if I
this?
point to it, yeah.
Like
Lower, point it down a tiny bit, there you go, that's better. And if I point to it just because you've gone like this, you gotta keep your mouth on top of the mic.
And the gesture like this is,
wrap it up.
hurry up, you
Wrap it up, we're going to break.
long-winded, you know.
Gotta go to commercial break.
All right. This is...
Okay, now you want to put the headset on.
Oh, the headset. Oh. So I look like...
Hello everyone and welcome to the Nilon Report. My name's Susan Nilon in the studio of WSRQ Radio, where I'm here every day at 5 o'clock talking about all the local issues of Sarasota, Bradenton, and Venice. We got a good show coming up today. With me is Pete Theisen. He's candidate for Sarasota City Commission, and we're going to be talking with him about why he feels that he deserves your vote. This is our second time here. We've already done one round of candidate interviews, and Pete is the first one of our second round. And before I go to Pete, I want to let you guys know that the Richard Dorfman is going to be coming up on Monday, February 4th. And then we have on February 6th, Linda Holland. Susan Chapman will be in on February 8th, and Kelvin Lumpkin will be February 11th. And rounding at the end is Mayor Suzanne Atwell. She will be on February 20th. So tonight we're talking with Pete Theisen. And Pete, I'd like to welcome you back to our show.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here.
It's good to be here. I've been watching you online. Of course, you and I have become great friends on Facebook. You actually spend more time on my Facebook page than I do.
Do I? Well, you see, you propose so many interesting topics that I just have to...
you can't let it go.
Yeah. Well, you know, but they come up on my wall.
Sure.
And I say, oh, look at that.
I know.
Oh, that's a juicy one. Oh, boy, does she think she's getting away with that? So.
And you don't. You don't let me get away with anything. You call me on it all.
Well, of course, you don't let me get away with anything either.
No, I don't. But that's the Irish in me.
You know, I'm half Irish.
You are?
I am half Irish.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's on my mother's side.
Gotcha. So, all right, let's talk about your campaign. It's been, I guess, a little bit over a month since you were in here the last time. What have you been doing?
Well, I've been organizing my thoughts and making a lot of dates. And you know what? I left my planner sitting on your desk.
No, actually, it's right here.
Oh, it's here? Oh, okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So, I knew I left it somewhere. Where did I leave it? On your desk.
No, actually, yeah, Ian read it. No, you said it right here
Did
next to
I?
me when you were working on your video camera.
Oh, right.
You
Okay,
just
so
didn't
I
have
was
it.
assuming I was
So-
going to sit over there.
So you've been making the rounds.
Yes.
And one of the things I was watching a video because you're kind enough to videotape everything that you do and post it on your website. So you had a pizza with, don't look at me like that.
Well, I'm kind of staring through this.
Within reason, campaign things.
Yeah.
So you had a pizza with Pete not that long ago.
I did.
How'd that go?
It was nice. We had some interesting discussions. Of course, I didn't videotape them very well. There are films, but I turned on the camera, and I was thinking, well, maybe I'm popular enough that some people would like to be photographed with me. Well, it turned out that wasn't the case. However, so the camera's running, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And
Well, it was a good video of you of Dan Lobeck looking at the laptop in front of you.
yeah, but the most of the action was off, just a little off the camera.
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten the camera was on, so I didn't think to turn it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I need you to come to my next one and remind me to turn the video.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'll pick up the phone and call you.
Oh, okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I saved you a piece of pizza and you never showed up.
You know, Pete, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you had a pizza with Pete scheduled that night.
Didn't I have it on my website?
I don't know. I don't read it all the time.
Oh,
Okay, so
I should have put it on Facebook.
so
On your page.
there you go on my page. So let's talk about some of the issues. And have you grown from the time that you were here by talking to people, because you're out making your rounds, people are coming to your event, and I don't mean your belly.
At least 3 pounds.
Pete's rubbing his belly for those who aren't able to see him. Is it? Yeah, I know, it's a shame it's radio, right?
I'll send you a link to them.
I appreciate that. So, what have you been hearing when you met with people? What have they been telling you that their issues are? What's the thing that are pulling at their strings?
There was an issue in Fred Atkins Park. There's a memorial wall.
There is.
And somehow somebody told the city it would be all right for them to rebuild this wall, and incidental to rebuilding the wall, they took all the memorial plaques away.
And I think they just left them on the ground. Is that not true?
No, I don't think it went that far, though I
Okay.
wasn't there.
Okay.
I did go over there and I didn't see much, but from my discussions with other people, what I'm getting out of it was they weren't left on the ground, they just disappeared. And now after, there's certain people who had been on the committee of this,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd gone to a fair amount of trouble researching the stuff that was on the plaques, the people who were memorialized.
Sure.
And for it to just disappear, it was like a project they'd worked on for quite a while, and they were upset about it. And it turns out that the guy who told them it was all right actually did not have authority to speak for them. But what happens in cases like this, sometimes people will appoint themselves president of an association when the association either exists somewhere else.
Well, I'm a little confused, Pete. I got a call from Valerie Bouchard. She had called me a couple weeks ago complaining about the issue, saying that she couldn't get anyone's attention, whether it was at the city or whether it was from the local media. And I had talked to her about this memorial, and she said the same thing, that it was in disrepair, and the plaques had been taken off, and essentially they weren't put back. And so her concern, once again, was that she feels that the North Sarasota district is basically, getting ignored, except when it's a good photo op or a good news story. And so those were her issues with that group.
I'll run over there with my camera later. Actually, she's probably right.
I mean, a memorial like that is important to them.
Even if I do go over with my camera, at this point I'm kind of nobody. I mean, I have no authority.
No, I guess what I'm asking is, why did you bring it up? What was it about this issue that when I asked you, what are you hearing about on the street?
Well, you asked me what I was hearing about, and I heard about this at my pizza party.
How do you feel about this? What was the end result?
Well, I asked around a little bit, and it seems like they're going through the motions of trying to find out where the parts are and get them together. But the city has a way of dragging it. They do bad things very quickly, and they do good things rather slowly. You know what I mean?
So, but this is the district as an at-large candidate that you'll be covering, that you'll be responsible for. So how do you feel? I mean, do you feel it's an accurate portrayal of North Sarasota, or do you feel that it's just small little issues that shouldn't be a big deal?
North Sarasota has an image problem.
They've always had an image problem,
yeah.
But I'm wondering who that image problem is with. Is it with the people who live there, or the people who live outside of North Sarasota?
Might be with the news media.
It might be with the news media, yeah.
Probably
that's true. It's all
say that very loud. It seems like bad news leads.
Okay.
And good news is a little slower.
Okay.
But I think that overall, the city of Sarasota has a relatively low crime rate, but it's a little higher in Newtown.
Okay.
And when somebody is hungry to sell newspapers, not to mention who sells newspapers, they're looking for something that's going to make those papers go off the rack. And they have a tendency to look for headlines, and that's the kind of headline that makes the paper sell.
Yeah.
So when this is broadcast for years and years and years and years and years, people get to the point where they're afraid to go over there.
Okay.
And so as a result, people don't know very much about Newtown except what they read in the paper.
Yeah, but you do, and you're a city commissioner if you get elected.
If I get elected.
And what is your position? I mean, I understand what the outside media is focusing on when there's something really traumatic, but you can say that there are traumatic things that happen throughout the city. There was a Siesta Key. When a year ago, when one of our joggers got run over. I mean, bad things happen. It's not limited to Newtown. But how will you represent Newtown or North Sarasota District?
Well, I would try to represent it as the same as any other district. I think we need to start all being the same. For instance, we can't focus on crime in Newtown and not focus on crime in Siesta Key. We have to go ahead and give it equal treatment.
But as a city commissioner, how would you focus or not focus on it? I mean, how would you change? I mean, to say we should treat everybody the same is a wonderful story and a Hallmark card. But the truth of the matter is, it isn't the same, and there's a lot of people in Newtown who feel that they're just an opportunity for other people to make themselves feel good, and the legitimacy of our city commissioners actually supporting Newtown is hollow.
Okay, well, with people who have that mindset, there is nothing we could do.
Really? Why is that?
Well, because if they're going to see anything that we did as hollow, then it doesn't matter what we do.
Unless it's legitimate.
No, even if it's legitimate, they'll see it as hollow. That's what you said. So there's nothing we can do with people like that. But if we can build relationships with the people who are open-minded, and there are some, I know there are. Valerie, for instance, is open-minded.
All right, Pete, we actually have run over our break, so we're gonna hold off and we're gonna continue this conversation as well. And you're listening to the Nilon Report. My name's Susan Nilon and I'm talking with Pete Theisen, candidate for the Sarasota City Commission, and we'll be right back after these messages. Okay, so.
Okay, I screwed you up.
Because you're sitting here and I got so engrossed in the conversation, I didn't see them give me my flag, but it's fine. We're only 5-6 minutes late.
6 minutes late, my God.
That's okay, don't worry about
jeez.
it. It's the bottom of the hour that's a hard break, so.
Oh, okay.
I have no choice about that. The quarter after and the quarter up is a floating train.
Oh, okay, so we kind of floated on that one.
We did. We took it a little late, so that was a longer segment.
I think I'm looking at your clock.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I have that one.
Oh, you have that one. Oh, okay.
That's okay. It's fine.
And I didn't focus on it once. I just noticed it here when you said you ran over time.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
That's all right. And sadly, he wrote on my message, "Time for a break," and I didn't catch that either.
Oh. Oh, jeez. Well,
that's okay.
We're both going to the doghouse on this. Me for engrossing you, and you for letting me do it.
There you go. No, that's good though. You want to engage the listener, and if you're engaging me, then chances are you're engaging the listener.
I can't engage you. You're already married.
Oh.
Well, okay. Before we got going, we were talking about. That's where it came up. Valerie came to the party and she talked about it a little bit.
Oh, she did come to your party? That's great.
Yeah, and so we talked there, and maybe we'll talk a little more. She was talking about something about trying to get an event for candidates in
North Sarasota.
In Newtown.
Sure. I guess my question is, I got a call yesterday from Chris Waters. They wanted to host a candidate debate at the Hub, but the date that was chosen, and I announced it yesterday on the air, so Jack Brill, who was listening to the show, emailed me and said that a debate had already been scheduled for the same date at the for the Republican club. So then we got the impression that you guys are doing a lot of debates.
Whoa.
So I don't know if you can squeeze another one in.
I don't know here. I don't even know what I'm doing now. I've written them all down.
But I guess my question is then, why isn't there one done in North Sarasota since it's a voting block?
There's a North Trail one on the 25th at 5:30.
But we're on the North Trail.
The Ross Camp Center.
Sure, but is that one that would be conducive to the neighbors of Newtown to come? And who's doing that one at the Ross Camp?
Dick Clapp sent me the email.
Huh.
Or maybe it was
I would think you'd want to do it in the community center in Newtown. There's a community center there that has a really nice room.
Yeah, they do have a nice room.
Why don't you just, as a candidate, go speak there on your own and not do a debate? That way you can just control it.
I might. Valerie's handling it. I'm giving her the lead because she lives there. She's
She's
the leader of the community.
Organizer.
Yeah, and I think she'd do better than I could. She's got the contacts.
But you're open to it as another.
Oh yes,
okay,
yes.
If
she sets something up and I don't have a conflict, I'll go there.
Good.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have now and then gone to Newtown, not for events, but to look around and see what.
We're going back on.
Oh yeah, okay. Wait a minute. I think that little head thing out.
Welcome back to the Nilon Report. You're listening to me. I don't know why I said that, Pete. You're very distracting here. My name's Susan Nilon, and I'm in with Pete Theisen. He's candidate for the Sarasota City Commission. Pete, this is your third race for this position, correct?
It is my third race.
Do you feel you're more experienced in campaigning than you did when you first started out?
Well, of course I'm more experienced campaigning. I don't know if I'm any better, but I'm more experienced.
So let's talk about some of the issues. There's always been a large question about, can we attract more of the youth, the younger generation? Can we make this city appealing to them and have a better balance so we're not just a retirement-focused community?
well, if we were willing to pay them the kind of jobs that they could kind of pay for their jobs they make up north. But
Is it just pay, or is it just job availability?
oh, I think it's pay.
Okay.
And job availability is a function of supply and demand. I think, you know, there's not that much being done here. You know, a few years ago I suggested to Vern Buchanan that he ought to use his connections with Ford to get a Ford plant put out, say, east of Fruitville. And he said, well, that's a good idea. And then he never did it.
Well, maybe he was just saying it was a good idea.
You think he might have said that to me just to brush me off?
It's possible.
Oh yeah, well, anything's possible, of course, but I mean, you know, he's our congressman. We're supposed to listen to every word he says. I mean.
So Pete, we're looking at a generation gap in Sarasota, and I think in addition to jobs, there's probably some other things that are of interest to them, and one of the big areas is the noise ordinance. Because not only are we talking about an artist and musician community that makes a living that way, but it's also looking for a venue that attracts a younger crowd, which likes a nightlife. What is your position on the noise ordinance?
I think they need to shut the noise off at 10 o'clock, but they could pass out earphones like this and let the people who want to listen to it loud.
Like what you're listening on,
like what I'm listening
what
to.
you're wearing now?
Yes.
Well, that's kind of silly, don't you think, Pete?
You're lecturing me again.
No, actually, I'm not lecturing you. I'm just saying.
No, the situation is that the people in the condos are going to bed at 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And the people in the bars, they want to listen at 130 decibels. Well, you know, my right to swing my arm stops at the end of your nose. I mean, it's like you can't do 130 decibels at somebody else's bedtime, but if you put earphones on, the 130 decibels are just for you.
Well, I know, Pete, but the idea of having headsets on is not very practical, and it's extremely costly.
They do it at the Van Wezel every performance.
That's just for the hearing impaired.
Well, the people who needed 130 decibels, they are hearing impaired.
Okay, but you're again missing the point. It's not just a question of that people need to hear it at a certain, volume. It's the atmosphere that they're looking for. It's the ability to play a little bit longer. It's the not at 10 o'clock. Is 10 o'clock a reasonable time?
It's the current law.
It's the current one, but you know.